everyone, welcome to this awesome training on setting up a lead sheet. This is going to be really influential in getting you guys in the habit of reaching out to each one of your new leads or some of your older leads that you're working with. That way you can get them towards the final goal, which is a sale. This makes it much easier to do that. That way you're not spread out on sticky notes, reminders in your phone. This makes it very organized and clear. So that way you don't have any guesswork, and you can even put in your skips if someone has mentioned that they're going to be out of town, etc., and they don't want to be reached out to for a little while, or maybe they're becoming closer to a dead lead. You've had enough conversation with this person where now it's time to maybe just add them to your e-blast and let them come back to you when they're ready, because they're no longer a good use of your time. So let's go ahead and begin to break down what you're looking at here. It's quite a bit. So this video is going to be a little bit lengthier in design, but it's meant for you to come back and revisit as you have any specific questions on a particular part in the lesson, or if you want to go over creating one of these again on your own step by step. Now, I will be providing a little outline too. So if you want to fast forward to certain sections, that way you can just get to that one bit of information that you really need. Go for it after you've taken this video a nice little look over. Let's go ahead and break down what you are looking at right now. It is a bit of a lot if you've never seen one of these before. Now, I'm going to go ahead and break down each little section here and then get into why they're important, how to create certain things on here, and then little tools and tips and tricks to make this sheet work for you a little bit easier. Now, first, let's go over the base contact details. When you are setting up your initial contact row in here, you want some of your base information to be able to get back to them. More is better here because you want to be able to add them to any of your lists, email, texting, or if you want to be able to individually reach out to them later on. Now, here, if you have their full name, I'm using myself as an example with a little bit of fake information just to go through this very quickly. Now, the date that I'm saying I reached out to Ariana is on 11/4. You always want to track that because that's going to help you track the dates here as we move on. And I'll get into that in a little bit. Now, I have their phone number, their email. That's always important, like I said, to be able to reach out to them individually. Lead source. Where did you find them? Were they an individual reach out? Are they a friend? Are they a family member? Are they a friend of a client? Did they fill out one of your forms? Did they fill out an assessment? Did they click one of your options that you may have set up in your link tree? Basically, where did they come from? Why you want to know this information is very important, mainly because you want to see where your efforts are best being utilized and where you're most follow back through. So are you getting a lot of leads through your assessment? Great. Pump the ads on your assessment, pump the posts on your assessment. Are you getting a lot of feedback or leads when you drop off your flyers in the neighborhood? Well, keep putting out flyers, keep putting money into printing flyers. Are you getting a lot of ads or feedback from leads when you run a particular ad? Well, keep running that particular ad. This will help you gauge where you're getting a good amount from, or vice versa, where you're getting the least amount from, to start moving away from that type of source that you're either spending money or time in from your business. So a really good key there. Then you want to see what your initial contact with them was. So if it was spoke, email, call, text, DM, was it an Instagram message? Was it a Facebook message? Kind of gauging where your initial conversation was with them. That's all you need to put down here. Very simple. And then you'll move on. And then from there, I want to give you a little bit more insight into the setup behind the follow-ups that you'll have from this point forward with the lean, and why they're important, why they're set up this way, and anything that you have related to your conversations with them. We also have a follow-up comment section. That way you can make any keynotes on this particular client or lead that you may want to turn to make your next follow-up with them a little bit more precise and to the point, even more specific. People really love that. So the idea is you have a 24-hour follow-up with them, because that's the next day after your first initial contact with them. They're hot. A text or a DM is always a really nice, quick way to reach out and keep that conversation going. And if that leads to a call or booking something, great. You'll notate that in your further follow ups and then get them hopefully to a sale. Your 24-hour follow up is also very important because this is when they are the hottest. This is when the idea is still fresh in their mind. And as you continue to follow up with them, the idea becomes less hot and they may not be as inclined to sign up with you or get started with you or get into their first assessment, whatever you are trying to get them from point A to point B and eventually into their sale. Now, a 3-day call is great because after 2 days, you kind of want to see if they've had any engagement with you within the 36 to 48 hours on their own. And then if not, we want to give them a call, especially if we have their phone number. Now, if you don't have their phone number, keep going with the method of contact that you have, whether it's text or email, keep at it. I know it sounds annoying, but it's the only thing that you have. So a good trick too is if you are emailing them, oftentimes in their signature, you will find a little bit of their base information, like their contact cell or an office email or different contact number for them to reach back to. And that's usually a little trick to get their phone number to be able to give them a call on the 3-day. Remember to introduce yourself. If you aren't able to reach them and they have a full voicemail, feel free to send a little text just saying, "Hi, this is so and so coach following up on XYZ and just want to see if you have time to talk about this opportunity that we had discussed a couple days back." Very easy, make this short and sweet to the point. This is where an email template becomes really handy. You can have something that's just really along the lines of whether it's for an assessment lead or just a base 7-day follow up. You get creative here and see what works best for your business. You can either really dial it in and be very specific, or you can be a little bit general and have maybe just a couple of versions that you play around with to see what works best. One version in particular really gets people to follow back up with you and respond to. I find that sometimes on this 7-day, less is more. You don't want to put too much, but you do want to remind them of what the opportunity is. Sometimes they're at work and it makes it a little easier for them to email back, or in the evening when they're going through their email, vice versa. Sometimes they check their emails the next morning and it'll give them an opportunity to follow up with you right away. Now, you want to give them about a week here. You've hit them a couple times within 7 days. That's when the opportunity with them, the idea is, like I said, freshest in their mind. Then you kind of want to ease off a little bit because you don't want to be too headstrong with getting your opportunity with them. But obviously, we're health and fitness enthusiasts, so we want to make them healthy. So time is of the essence here. So we're going to give them a little drop in, text or DM. Kind of depends on the repertoire you have with them. Again, if you have a text, feel free to use a text template or a DM template. Kind of switch it up. Sometimes you reach people better with Instagram or their private messages versus texting them. I have a friend who you can't get to her for 2 weeks, even if you tried via text. But if you DM her, you get back to her within 10 minutes. So you just kind of have to see what works best for each individual and then move on from there. After that, if you get no response or if you're trickling through your responses from that point for another 2 weeks or so, you want to give them your last hurrah. So this is a call plus an additional method of contact. So either a text contact or a DM. You want to be able to really hit them and just let them know that you are here for them. You want to help them. Sometimes life has just really gotten to them in the couple of weeks. And then that little 30-day reminder is that hurrah, oh my gosh, they totally remembered me. They didn't let me go. It's the end of the month. It's that last thing that I wanted to get done this month. Let me just knock it off my list so I feel better. And let's move on to the next month in that healthy mindset that I intended on doing. So that's always a nice little kicker. If not, you get no response. Do not feel bad. Do not fret. Add them to your e-boss. Either reach out to them every 6 months, or if you have a particular newsletter, which is a really important tool to have right now, especially as we become more and more digital, you can give them opportunities that you may have, and then that gives them a chance to reach back out to you, click buy a particular item that you may be offering, or get in touch by the season. Maybe summer's coming around and they have all those goals set up again, and now your summer newsletter comes up, bam, there you go. They're your client again without really having to do too much specific work. Just getting their contact information may have just been enough for you to make a sale later on. And then again, if there's anything else you need to notate by the end of that 30 days, put it in there so that when they are coming back to you, let's say a year later, you can refresh. Hey, are these still your troubles? Have things changed? And then kind of go from there. So that's a really great opportunity. And that's the entire base lesson on that part of the sheet. Now we're going to get into the intricacies of the sheet, which are very simple. Now I'm going to help you set up kind of like a template here and what's going on. This section was specifically for your FitPro. So if you're a coach like we are, looking for other coaches to join your network, or people who may be interested in learning a little bit more about what you do, but who are fitness professionals, you may want to talk to them a little bit differently. Your outreach may be a little bit different than someone who's becoming a client with you. So we set that up a little bit differently. Now, if you don't have that in your business, totally okay. You can use just a base lead sheet, or you can differentiate them with Gen Pop, and that's short for general population. So this is the base client, someone who's maybe wanting to do personal training with you, buy nutrition product from you, become one of your downline members later on, any of that kind of stuff. So this is where you'd want to put them in. Becomes very easy to toggle between both pages, so you can differentiate who's who and use the right type of template on them, so that way they have the right type of response. So you may want to talk about like weight loss and things like that with a Gen Pop client, and then money opportunities and time freedom with someone who's more of a fitness professional. So just giving that little bit of clarity and why you would use which over what. If you have any questions with that lesson, drop them down below in the comments, and we're happy to follow up with you either individually or in the comments below. Now, let's keep going on to how to just quickly highlight a cell and what else to kind of do here, how to copy a page over, all that good stuff. So if I wanted to copy this over to create a secondary page, super easy. A lot of these lessons are on the Google Sheet, but can be transcribed over to Excel as well, that now we're going to be showing you. So very easy here. There will be a corner button that you will click. If you have a Mac, it will be Command C. If you have a PC, it'll be Control Me. From this point forward, I'm going to be computing in a Mac version, but just remember that your Control key is the exact same thing as a Command key on a PC. So I'm going to go ahead and press Command C here. That's going to copy everything over as you see the dashed line start to highlight. I have a copy sheet here. All I did was click the plus button at the bottom to add a sheet, and a sheet added. So super easy, but we're going to come back to our original copy sheet. And now I'm going to press Command V to paste it. It takes a second, but now, bam, you have the entire sheet over without having to do any clicks, just 2 clicks right away, and you can start to input and edit from here. Now, how would you highlight a cell? We're going to go back to our FitPro sheet because I have a couple of things to show you here. You will simply click a button and that will highlight the cell, or you can drag a button down by clicking and that will highlight a grouping of cells. Super easy. If you wanted to copy a cell down, you have a couple of options. Command C will copy it, Command Paste with the Control option. But oh no, now my formatting is gone. What happened? Super easy. All you have to do is come over here, highlight the cell, click it. You're going to click this little paintbrush paint format, and you're going to drag it over. And now my cell turned back to blue. So super easy. Same thing here. But I wanted to show you one other quick item. Let's say you've sent 10 text messages out to a grouping of clients. Now you want to copy that you've done that 10 times instead of typing it over each little minute. Takes time. It's a little annoying, but the little things do help. You can click a cell. You will highlight the caret when this becomes a little plus sign, and you'll drag it down. And it'll drag down that you spoke or you texted or you called or whatever it was, however many times you wanted it to drag down to. Again, if your formatting disappears, no biggie. Click a cell, highlight it over, it'll go down. If you want to do a grouping, same thing too. Group the cells together, highlight and drag over. Everything's back to normal. So don't worry about that. Super easy. Wanted to show you that little tidbit with formatting. Sometimes that drives people crazy, especially me. I have a little bit of OCD. Now I'm going to show you a really fun option, how to make your colors be a little bit more unique to your own personal branding or style. So if you want to make this alternating or however you like, we're going to go ahead and get that set up. Now you'll go ahead again, highlight the whole thing. It makes it a little easier. And then you're going to click on format here. We're going to scroll down to alternating colors. Once we click that, it gives us back the options to turn them however we like. You can also create your own custom options if you like to. I had a little bit of a custom theme with what I had going on as well over there. I like the pinks and the blues for my personal branding, so I made it how I like it, but you do however fits your needs best. If there's a particular color that's easier on your eyes versus another color, please edit however you like. And if you want to go back, test it, just press undo and everything will go back to how it was. So super easy there. And then our last really fun option and really great lesson that I want to show you guys is how to set up your freeze panes. A lot of times this becomes very annoying when you get lower into your sheet. You can't see how many people you've texted or what you're putting in because the top bar tends to disappear. So if we go here, it disappears. So I don't know what I'm putting in anymore. Now, if you want to keep it, so as you scroll down, it stays frozen. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then another cool thing is too, after a while, you don't really need to know, especially if you're on your 30-day, whether you texted, called them, or emailed them what their response was on the 7-day. So it's kind of nice to have a freeze pane set up here right at the base of their contact. So as you move along through your leads, you can just have right here where you're at. Makes it very convenient. And as you go through this and build your lead sheet down, you'll start to see why. So very quickly, I'm going to go back to my copy page because the copy page does not have it set. We're going to highlight this row across our rows, up and down our columns. And then from here, you're going to go ahead and click the view, go to freeze. You can either do first row or up to a certain row, depending on where you're at, up to current column as well on the column side. So let's go ahead and let's do the first row. Now I have my row frozen. Awesome. So here's where you're gonna stop the freeze and you're gonna want this to be able to scroll back and forth. So lead source on this sheet is where you're gonna want that. And then again, we're gonna go to our freeze option after going to view, freeze, up to column E here because it's not the second column. Essentially, we've gone a little bit further. So it's giving us the option to freeze up into column E very specifically here. So now I'm able to drag along, which is super awesome. I love that feature. Very easy, super useful. Now that's the end of this lesson. Let us know if you have any additional questions. It's been a lot of information. Again, we're going to have a little outline that provides along with this. You can go along individually or throughout the entire thing as you set up your own. This is going to help you tremendously through your follow up. Please reach out to me if you have any specific questions based on the knowledge behind it, or if you want to get down to the nitty gritties on really how to make a follow up more specific, or how to build templates better and the wording and stuff like that behind it. Would love to answer any of your